Hi. So I'm a little behind on my advent calendar because it's the Christmas season. But it's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. It's fine. I'm in control. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I need some spin time just to chill and relax. I have spun some of my days that I didn't film. So let's see. Day 7 was the merino nylon blend. That was really weird. So far I have just spun it into a single and I put it into a ball, and I'm going to ply it with something down the line. I'm thinking some kind of veggie fiber, but for now it's spun into a single. That was day 7. Day 8 was the alpaca silk. So I took that and split it in half, and I just did a nice 2-ply with that. Now I spun it really tight, as you can see. So I'm hoping when I wash it, I'm going to savage it a little bit and see if I can get it to bloom. Just a little bit, not a lot. So I'm just going to beat it up just a little bit and see if I can get it to bloom. And then I'll hang that to dry. And day 9 was the Oklahoma Storm Chaser. There we go. Which was a variety of colors. So I split the colors roughly. And then I coil spun 1/2. And I took the other half and did a singles ply. So I ended up with this lovely coil spun yarn. Look at this one here. It's almost perfect. So it was really fun to play with, and it's made a fun yarn. So that one has to be washed and set too. I am horrible for washing and setting the twist. I never get around to it. But I think when I'm done all these, I'm going to wash them all up and get them ready to go. So that takes us to 9. But today we are all the way up to day 15. So I have all of these baggies. Hold on. There we go. I have all of these to spin. Now, the advantage of having all of these days is I can combine them. So what I have here, day 10 is a conifer merino. Day 11 is dark brown yak. Day 12 is Teeswater. Day 13 is wheat catkin, so it's a merino with sparkle. Day 14 is pineapple fiber, which I might ply with that other merino nylon blend. And day 15 is the rainbow Triloban nylon. So because I had all of these to look into, I decided I'm going to mix them up. So I'm going to take these 3, so the yak, the conifer merino, and the Triloban rainbow nylon. I'm going to blend these into row legs, and I'm going to spin those and see what they look like. It may be crazy, but then right now I'm a little crazy and looking it. So let's give this a shot and have ourselves a nice relaxing spin, chill out, you know, grab your coffee. It's the most wondrous time of the year. Tim Hortons, gotta love it. I'm so Canadian. My brother brought me this morning because he bribes me to visit with my cats. So I got my coffee, got my spinning wheel, got my fibers, got my equipment. Oh, let's see what kind of a mess we can make out of these. Yay! Got my cards here. I'm using my Howard brush. I think they're 110 10 TPI. They're pretty fine anyways. So grab up my fibers. Ow, bonk my head on the lamp. I love my lamp, but I'm forever bonking my head on it. All right, so I'm just grab a pinch of that and a pinch of that and some of this. Ooh, I'm so excited. This is either going to be spectacular or stupidly ugly, and I'm fine either way because I just like to experiment. So I'm just grabbing my handful and I'm just gonna, because we're dealing with so many different fiber lengths here too, it could make it really interesting, which is why I'm going for the Rolex to try to blend them all together. And Bobo is running around like a little freak. If you hear him in the background, he's the one going because he's just adorable. Okay, so we got her on our cards and just and we'll just keep passing it back and forth until I'm happy with how it's blended. I'm just going to move you guys back a bit so you can see a little better. There we go. I like to get up close and personal a little too much, eh? No personal space. 6 feet back! All right, so I think this is blended pretty good. Well, I'm going to give it a little more because that yak is not distributing itself very well. Ah, that looks like I can work with that. All right, where are my stickies? There's one sticky. Uh-oh, I lost my other sticky. Oh, there it is. I found it. Sticky. Guess what else I found? Something I never have when I'm filming. A pair of scissors. Woohoo! All right, I'm just going to throw my equipment back in the basket. All right. Now we're organized. I got my stickies. These are just knitting needles. Now that's going to pull all the yak out of it. So I think, we'll work with it. Pinch it between the sticks. Roll up to the edge, lift, and wiggle, wiggle. I think I just have too much fiber on here. All right, plan B. I'm telling you, man, I share everything with you guys, even when plans don't go according to plan. I'm going to take all this off. I'm going to take it off the cards. And I'm going to split it in half because I think I just loaded too much up on the cards. Oh, that's better. Don't ever be afraid to backpedal a bit to get what you want. Oh, much better. Okay, that was my problem. I just had my cards overloaded. Ah, much better. All right. Now we need our stickies. Let me slide one under and one over. Line them up, slide them to the edge, and then start wrapping. And when we get to the teeth, pull up a little and stretch. All right, that's enough for that one. So we'll just keep pulling and winding. There we go. So there we have a leg. that. Now I'm tightening them into puny roll eggs, which is basically just a tiny tightened roll egg, because I want the yak, which is very short, to get caught in a twist. So it's pulled into the yarn. So you have a better chance of achieving that if you use the puny roll egg style. So anytime you're using fibers that are vastly different lengths, I find that this works the best. So it doesn't just pull your long fibers out and leave your short fibers behind, which can happen with a roll egg, at least in my experience with my, self-taught spinning methods. All right, so let's just get this ready to card into another couple of roll eggs. All right, lift and draft, wrap, lift and draft, wrap. I'm just going to pull that all off into one. All right, so that little bit gives us enough to sample with. So we're going to switch to the wheel and see how it turns out. And if we like it, then we can do all the fiber. But why waste your time doing the whole thing only to find out you don't like it? Now I've been working on just a straight yak spin here. It's beautifully soft. Let's just adjust you guys again so you can see. All right. So I'm going to continue with this setup. I'm just going to hook right onto here, and then I will just pull it off to do a plying bracelet to see if I like this. Now, if you want to do long draw, but your shoulders are bad like mine, you can also do long draw this way. Let the twist in and then just draft it out a bit. Just use a higher twist because you're not drafting back as far. But you can still use the long draw technique. So let it spin into the fiber, then draft it forward. Oh, I went a little too far on that one. So we'll just fluff up the end. Do your worst to join. Okay. But you can do a fully woolen draw, but without doing it long draw. Just want to draft that one out just a bit because it's just a bit too thick. There we go. Now, I have very bad shoulders. I injured them doing silly stuff, but at the time it was necessary stuff. Hauling around another human being, basically. So I find that this is a lot easier on my shoulders, and I can still get my woolen draft, which I like a woolen draft. Or worsted woolen. Woolen draft, yes. I did say the right word. They get confusing sometimes with them both starting with W and, you know, my feeble little brain, especially at this time of year. So this allows me to do it without extending past my body with my backward, with my fiber hand. Bobo is absolutely enthralled right now. I wish you could see him sitting here on the floor. He's so cute. But he's such a little monster. He's not interested in any yarn that I am not working with. He won't touch it. that if I'm knitting or crocheting or spinning, it seems to be an invitation to him to come and attack my yarn. He just wants to play with Mom, I guess. But as long as he stays away from my fiber, because if cats adjust it, they can get in some very big trouble. So, I mean, I discourage him when I'm working with it, but I'm not much of a disciplinarian, so he's not really all that scared of me. So some days we argue quite a bit over the yarn. So you can see how little fiber I used to blend up to do my sampling. And I'm getting a lot of yardage off of this just for a sample. It's spinning up quite a bit. And don't worry too much if you have little bits of yak sticking out of the ply or out of the single, because when we ply it, that'll get trapped into it even more. And then give it those little halo-y bits. I'd say the yak is definitely bunching up, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just gives character to the yarn, in my opinion. Everybody has their own desires for their yarn. Mine is very organic. As long as it's balanced is my goal. Not terribly smooth, just balanced. I like little chunks and textures and stuff in my yarn, but that's my personal preference. You spin for whatever you like. That's supposed to be the joy of hand spinning, is you can make whatever you want. This is the last one. Then we will put it into a plying bracelet and ply it up and see how it looks. Now, because we're going to have to ply in the opposite direction from what's already on my bobbin, I will need to grab a quick leader so I don't untwist the yarn I've already made. But first, we're going to make a plying bracelet. Oh, you'd almost think I'd never done this before. Some days I'm so awkward. Slip knot onto the thumb. And I'm just going to ease up on the tension. So go behind your wrist, around your middle finger. Behind the wrist, around the middle finger. Here's where we joined on to our yak, because we have the sparklies in it. Can you see that? The sparkly bits in it. You can see where it ends. So we're going to break that off. I'm going to add a whole bunch of twists to this. Let it ply back on itself so the twist doesn't escape. And then we're going to lock it down on the bobbin so we don't lose what we were working with. I do this all the time. I'm forever just adding to bobbins. All right, now before we lose our ends, I'm going to tie them together. And we'll take this off the middle finger. Now the bracelet can just kind of live on my wrist. I'll use pretty much anything that's lying around to make a quick leader. And I will just add it right onto my bobbin. Let's move this over here so you can see. So I'm going to take my loop, my other end, go through this way, and then I'll go back around and go under. So now it can't spin in either, it won't slide in either direction, although with the fiber there it shouldn't anyways. And then we'll just thread this. So we were spinning S, so we're going to ply Z. Tie this on to our temporary leader. And loosen that up a bit. ourselves a lovely little 2-ply. Oh, it flew apart. All right, so the yarn broke. I'm going to backtrack to where it's a 2-ply. Open that up a bit. Easier said than done. There we go. And just pop that in the middle. And then we'll go back to plying. So we'll only have that one little section where it'll actually be 3-ply, but it's really not enough with the nature of my yarn especially. It's not really enough to influence your final yarn. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not a highly technical spinner. That's not what gives me joy. So I just kind of throw myself on out there, and like I said, my goal is basically just a balanced yarn, not a perfect yarn. I just want usable wool. All the way to the end. Extra twist. Let it ply back on itself. All right. And we'll use the Always With Me Niddy Noddy. And where's my scissors? Well, we might be able to get it off without scissors. Yes, we can. Look at that. I'm more coordinated than I thought. Oh, Bob was losing his mind. He's like, look at those just dangling there. I just want them so bad. All right, so here's our sample skein of blending the 3 fibers. You can see there's, maybe you can't, it's hard to tell. There we go. So there's patches of the yak that are sort of poofing out of it, but it's got this beautiful all over sparkle now. And it is super soft. Now, critiques, I think it needs a bit more spin in the singles before I ply, because this is very loosely spun. But because this is a sample, this is where I get to see what I need to do. So I like the blend. I'm going to card those 3 fibers together, card it all up, and then I will spin it more seriously when I get to the spin. So that's what we're going to do with those fibers. So what are we going to do with these? Well, I think we are going to play the card game, because I haven't got any ideas at all. So we're going to grab our cards, shuffle them up, and you pick one. Which one? This one? Okay. This is, oh, a shrink boucle. Nope, let's do a spiral boucle. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So we need 3 singles. And I have 3 fibers. We want to have a commercial thread, a looping ply, and then a binder being a fat white single. So I think we will spin the pineapple for the commercial thread. We will use the wheat catkin for the looping ply, and the Teeswater for the fat singles, because it's a very long staple, so it should hold very well in that structure. And then the catkin will just peek through in color. And here's Bobo. He wants to play. See, buddy? Hey? See, he's not interested in unless I'm playing with it. So this is going to take some work. I'm going to have to get some bobbins and start spinning them all up. And I will show you the results in another video. So until then, try not to get Christmas crazy. I should probably take my own advice. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.